So yeah, first of all, we got Fade to Black with Volgatron. As said, it doesn't have the vocal on it because it's the file before that. But it's really good to go through the sound design and everything. The second song I will go through is one just released today, which is the We Are the Free remix for Phase 1 and Diartis Murder. And both of them have really like different techniques. So it will be really interesting to see them. So let's start with the first one. And of course, as always, let me know if the sound is alright and everything. Yes, Alex, I'm recording. Oh yeah, my CPU loves this all the time. Jesus Christ. So yeah, that's basically the song, and where I want to start is basically at the intro, because this song kinda was weird to make. Like usually I have an idea for a drop, I build an intro, and then I can like put the drop into it and have everything work together and stuff. What happened here is I started with the intro, like overall, I didn't have any idea for a drop. So with a different intro, this drop would sound completely different. This is pretty simple. It's just like a melody I made in Toxic Biohazard, I guess. It's just a preset I tweaked around. I put some effects on it, like a guitar amp, some reverb stuff. Nothing really that special. It's just to give it like more character and everything. The melody sounds a bit like this. I already had in mind that I want to have a rapper on this. Volgatron wasn't set for this already. I had some other people in mind. But then I got in contact with Volgatron. Shout out to him, by the way. He's incredibly talented. One of the best rappers in the scene, I guess. And yeah, I worked on this intro with the rapper like in my head. Like I knew already I want a rapper on this for the album and everything. It would be perfect. So I made like a really toned down intro, which is this. Why my CPU hates this is because all of the RC20 effects. It's basically like a filter engine kind of. Without this or with it, let me
Make your music stand out, get more views, and way more engagement. Bring your music to life. Get Music Visualizer in every format, even for social media. Get started today. The link is in the description.
Let me see. You don't even hear it because of the filter. It's basically like this. It's just some really basic drums in here. It's just like a really toned down kick, really bassy, like really hip hop drums, layered with some snares and nothing special at all. And same for the build-up, basically. It's like really simple stuff for the drums. Everywhere is basically a reverb on, just to make it fill the room more. Then what I wanted to add are some Reeses. I'm a really big fan of Reeses, as you can tell from my music, and I basically built this song around a Reese. And I made a Reese preset in Faceplant. I will go through these later. And I kinda made these sounds with it. For the intro it's filtered now, but they happen later again without the filter on it. And with the drums it would be kind of like this. So basically what I did, I just made a distorted bass and layered a kick on it to make some kind of 808. And then here's like some modulation for the Reese, which is just in the piano roll. The preset itself is really basic. It looks just like this. It's just two waves. They play together. There's nothing modulated. It's just distorted as fuck. As you can see, there's an OTT and a decapitator, which is off right now. I don't really know why, to be honest. An RC20 again, the filter engine I talked about with the 808 Crush preset. Without it, it would be kind of like this. So it just adds some distortion. The OTT does this. So same thing basically. A distortion again. And another RC20. I think this is the filter one. This is without, and this is with the filter on it. It's basically just for the intro, so the intro is really toned down and the rapper can be like more present in the intro. The build-up is the same bass preset, just different modulation on it. So with drums and the build-up stuff, it sounds like this. And then, yeah, the build-up, just a lot of automations. That's basically why the CPU is that overloaded right now. It's a lot of automation stuff, like Antler Smile a few times, Little Altar Boy to change the pitch. I think on this sound... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm using the stock FL reverb. I can show you the preset I use. It's basically really simple. It's just let me see so I can explain it better. I just cut it down the low end completely here. Added some of the high end. A lot of reverb in here. So a lot of tail, and the wet knob is really high to make it loud enough. And that's basically it. Yeah, then it goes into the drop, and here is a lot of interesting stuff happening. This one is the same Reese patch again as in the intro, just modulated different and way more distorted. And this is without the drums and sidechain. And what this is kinda... Oh, I hope I didn't change this mixer track right now. Whatever. What happens here is my sub bass is really punchy. Dane, I'm always using the convolver. It's really good. I don't use it for reverb, maybe because the stock reverb 2 is just like really simple and useful enough. But I use the convolver for like random effects or like layering and resampling and stuff like that. That's really cool. Do you just automate that verb out then, or keep it through the track? In this case, I didn't filter it out, but it really depends. Like when you have a drop and don't want the reverb to clash with other sounds, you definitely want to automate that. But in this case here, it just can run through. Because it will stop. The tail is not that long, so it will go through the whole track. It's just wait. Okay, what did I do? Why is it? Oh, okay, I muted everything. Nice. Here, this is how the reverb is playing, and here it stops. So you hear now the reverb is gone, so it's just that long, so it's perfectly fits into the gap. So going to the first bass. Here I got just like some small rewinded, reversed. That's the word I wanted to use. It's just the kick again. So the kick is hitting harder at the drop. And now we go to the first basses, and I think these are kind of the most interesting part. Here's my sub bass. It's just a sine wave with a pitch modulation. So that's basically how my machine guns work all the time. And here we got the first faceplant patch. This is just a really fast modulation on a really distorted sound, and this first sound, the Beast wavetable, it's a stock thing in faceplant, is modulated with a Reese. The Reese is going out and is modulating the phase thing in the first waveform. So that's how this sound happens. Of course, there's a lot more stuff going on, like a lot of effects, and without this it would sound like this, which is obviously trash. So there's a lot of stuff to cleaning it up and everything. And it's two times the same sound playing, so it's a bit lower in the frequencies. This is the higher one and the low one, and both are playing, so it's just a bit fuller. You don't use the 3x OSC for lows? No. Why should I? You can do it basically for everything you want. And yeah, this is the first sound. So it's really kind of simple, but really effective in this case. So you don't really need to overthink sounds. Some people tend to make sounds too complex, but most of the time, like more simple sounds are way harder hitting. That's just because of the nature of them. Of course, you can make like crazy sound design and everything, but yeah, you get me. This is a sample I found in some random trailer. I think it usually sounds higher. Yeah, it's pitched down like 1 octave. Usually it sounds like that. Which is in the song too, actually. Why D sharp on the low and E on the high? Because I really like the clashing sound. It sometimes doesn't work, but in this case it really does. Because if I play both the same, it sounds kind of weird. It kind of creates like a bit of a dissonance here, but it works in this case. It's the same like writing a chord and then have one note kind of off. This is basically a bass that's playing a chord, if you want. So let's see. This is just another bass patch here. It's really similar. It's just another wavetable like on the top. It's based on the same preset though. So what happens here is it's just like some small drum fill. and it flows like pretty cool here, I think. Then what I wanted to do is like create a drop that's not really long but still has a lot going on, and isn't too out there, if you know what you mean. What I mean. So what happens here is I just copied the patches again and made different modulations for it. Here's, I think it's another wavetable again, like at the top. Yeah, it's another wavetable again. This is basically the preset that it all is based on. I made this a while ago. This hostile contact reese is from a sample pack actually, and then I just tried to make something more interesting out of it. And yeah, the whole modulation is pretty simple. It's just an LFO, and like when you play higher notes, it sounds shit. It's just really good for low notes and everything, because it's based on that Reese preset. It's the same. It's actually not the same mixer track. I used another one on the other patch, but it's just an OTT on this. Without it, it would sound like this, and without the EQ. So what the EQ does is basically basically lets you hear the character of the sound more. So it's kind of coming out there. Bear with me if I sometimes trying to search for words. I'm kind of tired right now, but we will get through this pretty good, I guess. Also, if you have any questions, let me know, of course. I try to look into the chat like really frequently. And yeah, that's basically the rhythm switch here. This little sound here is pretty cool. It's basically just a sine wave with a lot of distortion. Without the effects, it would sound like this. And just with the effects, and especially the resonator does a really cool sound to this if you use it. So you can do some really crazy stuff with just the effects and faceplant and really simple waveforms. But I think that's like something for another workshop where we talk about faceplant in general, because I think that's like a really underrated plugin. I know that Odd Prophet talks about it really a lot on this DeFire platform. So I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know it already, but I would love to do like something especially about faceplant in the future too, if you guys are interested, of course. So here we go to the next basically break section, or midro, or whatever you want, verse 2. Because what you can see is that I tried to not have like a regular dubstep build in this dubstep structure. I tried to have this more like a normal song, if you want, and have like 3 verses and then basically the drop as hook or refrain, if you want. And that was kind of the idea behind this. So I can have like 3 parts from Vogatron. And yeah, that's basically... So what happens here, I just added some hi-hats. Without the effects, of course. And this is basically the intro, but just without all the filters and everything. The melody is pitched up 1 octave, but it's the same preset and the same mixer track with the guitar amp on top of it. Without it, it would sound like this. This really does the most on the sound. So guitar amps are pretty cool, not only on guitars. Then we got the bass again. And yeah, the second build-up, I don't need to show that because my CPU hates it. And then we got the second drop. And the second drop is pretty funny because what I did... honestly dope without the M2. Yeah, definitely, but I prefer it with it because I just like distortion overall. So, yeah. The idea for the second drop was kind of to switch out the first drop. In the first drop, we got the really fast steps as first part, and the really like different rhythm, more trappy rhythm in the second part. Actually, what I didn't say yet is that this song has two different snares. In the first half, in the first part, it's this kind of drums. So more like the rhythm kind of drums, if you want. And then I change it up to the trap snare in the second part because the rhythm changes. So it sounds really interesting, and it's not a big change, but it really does a lot to this. I think you know what I'm talking about. And then yeah, I wanted to switch this up in the second drop. I want the slow rhythm at the beginning and then change it up to the faster rhythm. But I wanted to keep the pattern of the drums. So I just switched everything up kind of. So it sounds like this. Wait. Now come on. So these are exactly the same basses I showed earlier, just in a different pattern. And I wanted to change it up a bit more and just added some noises. This is like from a weird percussion sample pack, but I threw like a ton of distortion on this. OTT, I EQ'd out a lot. So the equalizer kind of, if it loads, looks like this. So I cut it out all the low frequencies and stuff. Pitched it down 1 octave. Stretched it a lot, so it's basically resampling. So that's that layer. Alex, yeah, I did. And that actually was the first new sound I tried to incorporate in this drop. It's this pretty cool Reese. Again, it's based on the same preset I made. My kind of go-to Reese preset, my reset, if you want. It's nicely called What the Fuck. So I got this Reese again. It's modulating the tension sign, and the Reese plays faster LFOs when the notes go up. So if I play a low note, and if I play a high note, and if I play this together, it sounds pretty cool. And that's what's happening here. I layered it with this one sound again, with this noisy sound here. And it kind of flows really cool, I think. Drew, what glitchy break sound you mean? Do you mean this one? Like this one? And then we got the transition into the last break, kind of, the third verse, or more like bridge part, kind of. And I really felt like I can step this up a bit, make it a bit more melodic, add the choir. The choir is made with Native Instruments Contact. The library was Olympus, I guess. Just a lot of effects on it, cut it out the low end, reverb and stuff, and then I recorded it so it sounds like this. Thanks, Ray. Then what I did, I added a melody because I think it really gives it another layer in this song. Because everything in the end kind of goes more epic and goes into kind of a different direction, especially with the Volgatron vocals. It sounds really, really full and hard-hitting and interesting, epic, whatever. And where's the filter? Ah, here we go. Then I added another layer because I was thinking about the low end and wanted to incorporate another layer of melody into this. So this was what I added at the end. And it plays really well with the choir. It makes the atmosphere really, really tight and gives it a lot of tension towards the last build-up. The transition to the last build-up is not really good in here, but that changes once you hear it with the vocals. I will play the version with the vocals after this, so people who don't know the song can hear like the whole project at the end, the whole product. And then, yeah, we got the third drop, and actually I noticed something is missing in this drop, which is the choir. So I will show you this part at the end in the MP3 file and talk about it a bit. Then we got the transition to the last verse, to the outro if you want. I don't know why my CPU has trouble with toxic biohazard right now. It's kind of stupid. But yeah, this is basically the intro again. So it's the same stuff like here. So this kind of was the whole song basically. If you have any questions about this song especially right now, let me know. If you want to know something about the mix down in this or whatever, because it's a bit easy to talk about the mix down, I guess. It's kind of, the drums are sidechained really hard with all the basses. Yeah, Ray, it seems to be CPU hungry at streams at least. Usually I don't have any problems with this, so this is kind of weird. But you get what I'm talking about and it works, so that's all that matters, I guess. Of course, once the song and the structure and everything is kind of done, I fill it up with like some risers, some effects and shit like that. Just like this, for example. This one is out of the same movie as the breathe sound. It's kind of a cool transition sound. Sounds like this at the end. and I really like that, so I just kept it in because the first version was with just some placeholder vocals, and these kind of work in here. Here are some more crashes and effects, just to make better transitions and everything. Do you normally make all your bass patches from scratch? Yes and no. I would feel kind of bad to use a preset that's in the plugin for a drop or something. But of course, if I made like a patch years ago and I still like it and can change it up, I reuse it. Obviously, because if the sound is good and you can change it up and it doesn't get boring, just feel free to use your own patches again. I noticed your mixdowns are very simple. What advice could you give to keep that way so something isn't super squished or ruined in the mix? That's a good question. What I do a lot is, I showed this in the other workshop already. I don't know how drastic it is here. Wait, let me check this first. So yeah, it's working right now. If I turn off my mastering chain and the decapitator is off, the endless smile is off, the little alto bar is off, this is just like for the outro. They are automated here, so it basically dissolves in distortion. That was kind of the idea for the outro. And the Maximus in this case is doing a lot. The Maximus is basically like a limiter and multiband compressor, and the control of it is pretty cool. Like it works really good for me. If I turn it off, it would sound like this. So as you said, it sounds really simple. The drums are way too loud right now in the mix. And the Maximus basically does what an OTT does for me, like in this case. And puts everything like on the right level. You can of course change it up a bit. I turned up the master volume in this one because I made this sound a bit more quiet. I think I worked on this at night, so I wasn't able to turn my volume up that loud. Happens sometimes. I changed up the low end here in the pre-compression a bit. Same in the mid and low, high, mid, and low, of course. So what I do to keep my mixdown clean is I just try to have everything kind of separated. If I make my basses, you can see this one is really simple. Like it's just the bass sound. I cutted out the low end in it, and then I added a sub bass that's basically playing the same rhythm and note, obviously. Then I add the drums with a really hard sidechain. How I do my sidechain is pretty simple. I just make a 3x OSC. Thank you, Ulasil, for giving me that trick, actually. I have a 3x OSC. The 3x OSC is playing white noise. And all the time you play the white noise, you see the sidechain goes down, and this goes to 0. So when the drums play, they can't clash with the bass or the sub. And that keeps it really clean. Also, don't ever overuse reverb. Like, use it slightly, use it where it really fits, but just don't slap reverb on it to have reverb on it, because you can hear these sounds are really dry. Actually, it sounds kind of dry, but it really works in this case. Do you get a lot of your transition vocal effects from horror films, or do you end up creating them, find sample packs? I mean, yeah, obviously. A lot of my stuff is inspired by horror movies, or like some of them are especially my vocal samples are taken out of horror movies, like a lot of times. Also, there are some really good libraries, like the Boom libraries, for example. They are kind of expensive, but worth it. They get like some crazy effects. But what I always do is like, I change them up a lot. I pitch them, I stretch them, I just cut out things I really like, I add effects, I put them in the granulizer. So yeah, that's kind of the way I would go, like in using samples and stuff like that. Tips on blending different reverbs together. What do you mean with this? Because I only use the Fruity reverb. So if you mean like different reverb engines, I don't really know what you mean, because it's not that easy, not that hard to do. Very helpful. Thank you so much, Sven. No worries, man. Really glad it's helping. Boop libraries, if you want. If you get bad frequencies when you distort a sound, just cut them out. You have an equalizer, and if you equalize a sound, don't be scared to be like really harsh to them. If you have a sound, let's say a bass sound, you obviously want to cut out the low end, and then if there's a bad frequency, let's say around 1200 hertz, just go like fucking this. Like, you don't want this sound, so just cut it out, you know. So you don't want this frequency, so just cut it out. If it sounds like shit, cut it. You know. Meaning mixing multiple tracks that all have different reverbs. I usually don't really take care of that, because how I use my reverb is, as said, really slightly, and I don't have clashing reverbs a lot. The only thing I can tell you, what I always do is like I have the reverb and I cut out the low end of the reverb. You can cut it with this low cut knob here, really good. This is really cool in the FL reverb. I don't know a lot of other reverbs, but I think Valhalla Room has like the same knob stuff, so that works a lot. I'm afraid because the sound loses the quality I wanted to have. Then you use the distortion wrong, maybe. Just use less distortion. Use another equalizer, cut out the shitty frequencies, use another distortion engine, just use it slightly so you can step for step like go to the sound you want. And really just mess around with effects. You can do like some crazy stuff with filters, with chorus, with flanger, with everything basically. So yeah. Then how I worked with the vocal was I rendered this out completely. Actually, let me check if I have the project somewhere. I can talk about it though. So how I arranged the vocal was I got the vocal and I got the song down. Let me see. I got the vocals from Volgatron and they sounded really good. But still there was like a lot I wanted to change, especially like mixdown wise. I think this is the newer one. Yeah. So let's see if this works. If not, never mind. I can just show you the song and explain about it. And I got the vocals, and then I first time tried out a plugin that's called Nectar 3. I talked about it in the feedback streams already. And what it can do is it has like a really interesting vocal mixing assistant, if you want, which really helps to get everything in the right loudness and helps to cut out shitty frequencies from the instrumental. Joey, yeah, it's really easy to create scary sounds if you just stretch shit and put distortion on it, basically. So let's switch this off again, on, and here we got the song basically.
Ghost in the shell, I hear my demons calling. Speaking with the reaper, seems I pay my calling. I remember seeking, yet you left me falling. Screaming on the floor, the silence deafens, yet I'm here and talking. I'm talking with these entities that really seem to listen. Not some phony effigy of freedom, just a sheep of wisdom. See where we're from, there's many men jaded, now indoctrinated. Telling me how I'm worthless, born in sin, and how I must. I'm done now, unchained I see that path, no veil I step with the purpose, living my true life, free from the page I stay I'm focused, I'm focused, I'm focused, I'm focused. When you think your fate to black, child, your time is gone.
Terminus all an instigation, infestation, implementation. Smoke and mirrors, no inclination of truth, just pure agenda. Divide and conquer, rise forever together as one, no propaganda. I'm done now, unchained I see that purpose, living my true life, free from the page I stay. I'm focused, I'm focused, I'm focused, I'm focused.
Once you fuse your fate to black, child, your time is gone.
Ghost in the shell, I hear my demons calling. Speaking with the reaper, sees I plead my calling. I remember seeking, yet you left me falling. Screaming on the floor, the silence difference, yet I'm here and talking. I'm done now, unchained I see that path, no veil I step with the purpose, living my true life, free from the page I stay. I'm focused.
And now we go to the last drop with like everything in it, because there was something missing in the other project file.
I'm focused, I'm focused, I'm focused.
Once you fuse your fate to black, child, your time is gone.
So yeah, that's basically the song. And what I wanted to tell you about this and show you is what Nectar does to this track.
But your accusation.
So here it is. This is what I put on this. It's quite a lot, but it's a bit overwhelming and kind of misleading because some of these are even off. Just some effects for a few things in the song. So if you turn this off, it sounds like this, and the gain reduction.
But your accusation is information. Done investigation.
The gain reduction just makes it louder a bit.
But your accusation is information. Been and done investigation. Terminus on an instigation.
The gain reduction is a really cool plugin to get the characteristics out of the vocals and yeah, just compress it really cool. It also has like the lo-fi knob, which makes kind of a megaphone sound, which comes really handy sometimes. And then yeah, the magic plugin called Nectar 3 with the vocal assistant and a lot of unique stuff you can do in this. And it kind of helps to keep the vocals in the same loudness, even though the instrumental is playing. And since I'm mixing down and producing a lot of hip hop and rap as well, this is like my go-to plugin for this. You can do it with other stuff too and do like everything on your own, but the vocal assistant is like a really good way to start, and then you can tweak it so it sounds perfect.
But your accusation is information. Been and done investigation. Terminus on an instigation. Infestation, implementation. Smoke and mirrors, no inclination of truth, just pure agenda. Divide and conquer, rise forever together as one, no propaganda.
So yeah, I think mixing down vocals and everything is again another thing I can talk a lot about, and especially like in one-on-one sessions, if you really are dedicated to mix down vocals and do like professional mixing and mastering, I would love to talk about that stuff way more, but we are kind of running out of time and I want to go through a second project, so yeah, I think that's something for another thing. And it's a good time to switch to the second project, which I opened already, of course. Here we go. So, do you use presets with your Nectar 3? I'm just using the vocal assistant and I work from there. But you have to notice that the vocal assistant only works if the vocals are like really good quality. If it's a shitty quality, it doesn't do the job quite well because it thinks that like some weird noises are vocals too, and then it mixes it down really weirdly. But yeah, don't be afraid to use presets, actually. It helps a lot and it's a good way to start stuff. And a good way to learn stuff as well, if you just started making music. So the second song I want to go through is a remix I made for Phase 1 and The Artist Murder. It's called We Are The Free. And this was really funny. I had like 1 week to do this. So I had kind of to rush it. I wanted to do something completely different as the original. I think the original is like 110 BPM or something. So I tried to change that up. The vocals didn't work a lot with my remix, but I still wanted to incorporate them, of course. So I only used this here. Then I used the guitars of the original. Also, one thing I can tell you is, if you want to incorporate guitars in your electronic music, don't mix them down like metal bands do, or like overall like normal instrument bands do, because there's a different way to mix down guitars for clubs. That's why a lot of guitars sound shitty on club equipment. You need to boost the low end a lot and use something else as like a bass guitar, or maybe layer the bass guitar with a sub bass to make it sound just as full as the bass sounds and everything. What happened here is I added the other vocals a bit, just for the background. I got these drums, these metal drums. I made these drums using Superior Drummer, and then I rendered them out, exported them, and put some effects on them. I wrote this melody. Again, Toxic Biohazard, Toneforge Menace. Without it, it sounds like this. So it's not really a guitar, and then if I put the amp on it, it sounds like a guitar and really works with the other guitars. I don't know what... Okay, this is just like a sub thing. What I did for the build-up was just rendering out the bass of the drop. I just recorded it with Edison and then put this in here. Just added some filters, so it's kind of like this. Yeah. Then I got like a lot of the samples from the original. So the first half of the drop is pretty easy. It's basses from the original. I kind of EQ'd them different, I guess. Oh, it's just an ODT. Oh yeah, I remember why I did this. I had this sound. And this sound is basically just two clashing sine waves with a noise on top of it, just some ODT on it and distortion. The sine waves have a different pitch, so they make this movement. And I thought it wasn't that interesting, and when I added these basses, I forgot to cut out the low end. And because of that, it kind of makes like a weird rumbling sound in the low end and kind of makes the modulation a bit different. I really liked that sound, and so I just kept it in. Thank you, Dane. The thing is, I just really started focusing on keeping it simpler, but more effective. Last time I broke down a song called Ashes. It came out on Disciple Roundtable. And that was one monument of a project and had like, I don't know, 1,000 layers or something. But you can check that out on the Defire page. But this one is really more simple. Yeah, it's really toned down, and I wanted it that way, and I think it sounds really cool that way. Then I got the drums, most important part in this song actually, and the tonal layer, which is a Serum preset with a lot of effects on it. So it sounds like this. Altogether, you heard it already. I think this one is really funny without the Maximus on the master again. Let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah, that changes a lot. Then I got the transition in the second part, and I wanted to kind of do a fake drop, but I hate fake drops, so I didn't want to do one. So I just made like one bar that's a bit out of the ordinary, and then it goes back into the drop. So more like a small break, if you want. Oh jeez. Here comes a small melody out of the original. Sounds pretty cool. What I did here for the transition was stretching one of the sounds of the original like really long, so it plays along with the growl from the singer of Thy Artist Murder. I really like that. These are some sounds I made earlier. Like these are from a different project. But I thought they sound kind of cool, and I wanted to add them to the machine guns. Of course, I wanted to play some machine guns in here, because what would it be without it? The machine guns are... It's a machine gun sample I made a while ago. This is basically what I'm using for all my machine guns. I tweak it around, put effects on it, sometimes a vocodex, if you play. Which sounds really cool too, but in this case it works without. And a EQ that cuts out the low end and boosts like some frequencies I really like. Then I got my sub bass again, which is really hard hitting. So it sounds like this. Then I got the layer from the original again. Together it sounds like this. I got this layer here, which is actually this one. Okay, it wasn't from a different project, it was from this one, sorry. I actually know what this sound is. It's made in Serum. Oh, and faceplant. Oh, this is the distortion one again, the 2 sine waves. And then we get the serum patch, which is I call it modify noise. It's a really simple sound. It's just like one wavetable I found in the digital one. It's modulated with some effects, just some distortion, some EQ for the modulation, basically. Come on. As you can see. Just the comms filter. It doesn't do a lot, I guess. Actually, it does. Yeah, I didn't open this project for a while, so I don't know all the stuff that I did. Because a lot of my stuff just happens in the flow and when I'm working on a song. And why it's called Modify Noise is because all the sound in this patch comes from the noise oscillator. Because if I change like this to a kick sample, let's just use this one. My serum is slow. Yeah, this shouldn't happen. Here we go. All right. Oh, it's bridged already, Jesus. But yeah, the noise oscillator does a lot here. If I change this to polar, for example. Liam, it's not because of FL, it's because of my PC actually. I don't have the best machine. It works. It's small to carry to shows, so I got this one. It's not really about FL. So this is really cool. I can keep it actually like this right now because it sounds pretty cool. Yeah, again, the drums are really important in this one. I got the vocal sample here. What I did here is I wanted to incorporate the melody a bit. So here's the it's the same Reese as in the project I showed before. With the melody from the intro. Then here's like another break with the original samples. And then we go to the really short mitro. It's just like 2 bars, and then it goes into the build-up. Yeah, 2 bars. No, Sven, it's not 2 bars, you stupid idiot. But you know what I mean. It's just like this. Oh, Jesus. And I think this is like my favorite part in this whole song, especially this drop. Because it's kind of like old school my sound, but with a new twist, and I really like that. I actually think this was the idea from my girlfriend to incorporate the melody in the drop, but I'm not sure about that right now. So I got this melody I made in the intro. Thanks, Alex. That was like really a short-term decision. I think I changed that 2 hours before the deadline or something. So I'm really glad you like that, because I fucking loved it. Like, this small part here is really, really amazing. I really love that section, and then it goes into the drop. It's pretty cool. And it teases the melody already, so that's why it works that good. Then I got the bass steps from the original again. I got my machine gun. Oh, no, it's a growl. How did I make that growl? Let's see. It's serum. Yeah. It's a really simple bass, actually. This is like my go-to layer that I put like under a lot of my sounds to have it like really full in the low end and in the low spectrum. So this is kind of just to give this bass from phase 1 just a little more in a certain frequency. Then I got my machine guns. And altogether, the basses only sound like this. And what you can hear is the basses play exactly the same pattern as the melody, and that's what I wanted to try in this one. Then what obviously makes sense, if I have this little pre-drop I really liked, I want to do like a small break. It's 1 octave up, and then I layered another Reese on this. Thank you, Ray. It's actually a preset I made on my own in Morphine, so I'm glad you like it. Again, Morphine is really powerful. And then what I really liked is, I first had the idea to just copy a part from the first drop and put it as like second part of the second drop. But I felt like, okay, I think the song is over. Like, this part is like the peak of epicness in this song. It can't get crazier than this. And if I go back to the first drop, it would be like kind of slowing it down again. So I was like, okay, let's just keep it short. The song is like over 3 minutes still, but it feels short, especially for my songs, because I have like 1 minute 50 intros and shit. So, so I was like, how can I do like a good transition into this? And that's basically I have this really amazing bass guitar sample from phase 1, from the original. And the transition works like this because I keep the same melody and everything. I keep the same pattern with the drums, kind of. And so... track 7 bass chucks. Let me see. What do you mean? Track 7. Oh, you mean on this here? It really kind of sounds like this. I don't know why. It's maybe because of the RC20 actually. Because there's this preset called Depth for Plugs.
Make your music stand out, get more views, and way more engagement. Bring your music to life. Get Music Visualizer. In every format, even for social media. Get started today. The link is in the description.
Because of the flux automation in these plugins, they kind of move a bit. So that's maybe what you hear and sounds automated. So it's not really automated, but it's moving, which is really cool right now. I didn't recognize that, so big ups. Got some good ears, man. Again, of course, on the vocals is Nectar 3 for the volume and everything. You don't hear it that much, it doesn't do a lot, but I think it's just some compression that's happening here. Yeah, it's just pitch correction that is off. So it basically just some EQ, another EQ to cut out the low end, some compression and some reverb. The reverb isn't doing a lot right now because it's really silent in the mix. But yeah, that's Nectar for you. And that's kind of the song. I'm going to the mixer channels a bit because I think that's kind of interesting in this one. Yeah, exactly. Because what's really funny in this one, even if I turn off my sub, there's a lot of low end in this. But if I turn off the sub bass, it's not really clashing, and that's also because of the Maximus. And that's why it sounds like trash if you turn it off. Because there's way too much bass in everything. What Maximus does, it really takes care of that. It of course doesn't make your sound clean overall, but it kind of helps to make sounds not clash. Even if you play like too low frequencies, it's kind of helping with the volume and everything and fixing it together. And because I really like that moving in the low end, because the sub bass from the main bass is playing a different note, kind of, or more a different movement, as you can hear. It's more like stabby, and then I got the low end from the sub bass. It's kind of clashing and creates a cool movement that really works with the song. That's actually a method a lot neurofunk producers use. So they use clashing sub basses, so you get like some interesting movement in there. Without changing notes, which helps a lot in stuff like this, where you mainly use reeses. Actually, the first version didn't have the ping snare. It was like this. It sounds cool too, but the snare gives it just another layer. Which doesn't mean you should use pan snares in every song. Please don't do that. What I can talk about is my drum effects a bit. I think that's really interesting for a lot of people. So I got my kick. I think it's a sample from Damage Drums. I think they're called Damage Drums. Let me see. So I recommend that drum pack. It got some really cool samples you can tweak a lot. It's where the fuck is it? Damned Essential Drums. That's the name. Shout out to Faceplit for mentioning it to me a while ago. So I got this kick. Without the effects, it's like this. It's kind of similar actually. So what I always do is I put my kicks and snare like on the loudest volume, so I can keep all the other stuff on lower volume. And I got a one-on-one session with someone yesterday, and I recognized I don't use these faders here a lot, and that question kind of got me off guard, because I'm mainly using the parametric equalizer to tweak my volume on the sounds. So I just like this. If I wanted more quiet, if I wanted louder, I boost it there, which basically is some form of compression, but it works for me, so I will never change it. As you can see here, I don't know what sound this is right now, but I wanted to have it more quiet, more silent, and then I turned this down. And that way I don't have to take care of these master faders here at all. I just turn up the volume on the drums because I want these two to stand out the most. And with the Maximus at the beginning, you don't need to take care of clipping and stuff like that. Also, disclaimer, this is obviously not the best way to master. There are a lot of better ways, especially if you produce your song really silent, like on -6 dB or something, export it and get it professionally mastered. It works too. It sounds good. It maybe sounds even cleaner and whatnot. But for me especially, this is the best way to master my songs. Because if I turn on the master, I start with opening Maximus and open my master preset. I made it a while ago. It's called Pandorum Mastering Magic. So I just slap this on it. I work on the song until I think, okay, this is like something I want to go. And then I tweak the master. And that way I know from the beginning how my songs will sound at the end. And that just helps me a lot to keep track on what sounds I can use, where I can fill some frequencies, where I can do some crazy mixdown shit like the fucking 2 subs playing here. This is only drums. And I did this because it fucking works. It's not how you should make music, but it works. So sometimes you have to break rules, and of course you can only do that if you know the rules. So yeah, what I do with my drums is I have a drum sample I really like. I cut it down a bit, change the length of it, and pitch it sometimes. Sometimes your drums can sound cooler like this, like whatever, how you want them to sound. I add an equalizer, which just boosts some frequencies I really like in the sound. I got the stereo enhancer because I want my kicks to be mono, obviously. I got the transient shaper to... Why is nothing loading right now? I got the transient shaper to have the transient of the sound a bit standing out more. You can hear it slightly. I got a blood overdrive just to boost it a bit. It's kind of like distortion, but it's an overdrive. So it's not really a distortion, but it kind of does the same. Like, you can do distortion with this. And another equalizer, again with the same stuff going on. Basically it's just like cutting out some frequencies that sound like shit and then boosting frequencies I really like. And with my snares, I usually have some samples. I'll go through these a bit, because this one it's really simple. Because it's a kick snare, it's always the easier way. Of course, doesn't fit in all songs. But in this one, I wanted to have like a really straightforward feeling and like a breakdown, a metal breakdown feeling. Not mental breakdown, that's different. A metal breakdown feeling. So I wanted to do this kick snare thing to have every hit punch as hard as possible. What I did is I got like a really cool sample pack a friend of mine recorded ages ago. So thank you for that, bro. And it's all in the same effect chain. It's kind of just like this. I wanted this frequency to stand out a lot. Gives like a cool resonance. I added another layer to this. It sounds like this. Added another layer. Added another layer. And all of them sound like this on their own. And all of them have just the purpose to fill frequencies I want in the snare. If I don't use a pen snare, I love to have like another layer. If I go to this and just take the snare, like this one is alright. I go ahead and, as said, I don't want a kick snare right now, so I just take this, put it into another mixing channel. If you are using FL, use Control and L to just use another mixer channel that's free. I learned that technique like a year ago or something, so it changed a lot. I make it shorter because I only want like the click at the beginning. Turn up the volume in this one because I want this loud. I put an equalizer on this. Boost the one frequency that's loud as fuck anyways, because loud is good sometimes. No, but it works with snares, with hard hitting snares if you want them to stand out a lot. And then if you layer this, you have a good normal snare. So you can change like a kick snare really fast to a, let's say, normal snare. And even with this, the song would sound kind of good. Way more stronger. Yeah, I'm Carnage now. But I think all you guys know what I mean. Dominic, in this song especially, it's in one bus, but it really depends. Like if I want to have one layer stand out different and have like different frequencies, I obviously do it in another mixer channel. But most of the time I want to fill that certain frequency. Like if I have the snare and I want it to hit around, let's see where it is here, like 1500. I just add other snares. And if I find a snare that kind of fits but needs some different tweaking, I just put it into another mixer channel and mix it down different. So it really depends on how I want the snare to sound. And yeah, that's basically how I made this stuff. Again, this is like a preset I made in Morphine, which is an FL stock plugin and really powerful. And that's the remix for Phase 1. And it came out today, so you have to check it out. That's a fact. And I would say, if you have any more questions, let me know right now. So I can talk about those. And if not, we will slowly come to an end of this. And this was a bit faster than I thought. But yeah, if you have any questions, I'll be here for the next like 5 to 10 minutes. And answer some questions about music, about branding, about whatever you want. About your underwear. Also, Alex, I just thought for a second I didn't record and got a heart attack. But it is recording. I just had it like out of my point of view. So I was like, oh shit. Do you have any other tips you could provide on vocal processing? Yeah, definitely. Let me open this in another project actually. That makes it easier. Any updates on your US visa? Yes. That's all I can say. Yes. You can make out of it whatever you want. So let's see. I think I got some vocals in Splice right now. Because I tried some stuff out. Just gonna turn off the master. What is this?
Tell me where to go, what to do.
Okay, this is gay enough to work on it. So let's see. If we talk about vocal procession, how I always start is, as you might know already, I slap some nectar on it. This won't do a lot because these vocals are kind of perfect because it's from Splice. But usually I record my own vocals or more the vocals of other people, but you know what I mean. How this works, you open the vocal assistant, go to assist, next, modern, moderate is fine.
Tell me where to go, what to do. 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 Tell me where to go, what.
So as you can hear, it kind of cleaned it up. You can add a gator, which basically kind of cuts out some of the noise, but here is no noise in this sound anywhere because it's splice.
Tell me where to go, what to do.
You can do a pitch corrector, which is pretty funny sometimes.
Tell me where to go.
You can change the note.
Tell me where to. Tell me where to go, what to do. Tell me where to go, what to do.
So this is pretty cool.
Tell me where to
You can
go,
do some
what
pretty
to.
cool stuff with this.
Tell me.
Joey, yeah, it does a lot of the work, and that's why it's just freaking insane. I saw this plugin and I was like, Jesus, this is pretty cool. Like it does like some of the really tedious work, but it's just a really good start. And you can even automate the frequencies here. So I think it was here. I didn't use this for a while. Was it this? Yeah.
Tell
So
me where to go.
you can see when the frequencies are getting like less annoying, the automation will
Tell
start.
me where to go, what to.
This is just freaking incredible. Like it knows when the sound is annoying, and it will automatically change the equalizer if it sounds better. It's just so weird. Here we go, and you can even like change the. Just move it like this, and then when you play the sound, it's
Tell
just
me
like.
where to go, what to do. Tell me where to go, what to do. Tell me where to go, what to do.
So this is really crazy, and you can even like make chords out of this now. Just pitch it down 5 notes, 5 semitones,
Tell me where to go, what to do.
and you have a pretty cool chord. But if you don't want to do this on your own, you can do a plugin that's coming with Nectar 3, which is called Vocal Synth. And I'm basically using this like for all my vocals, even for vocal samples, like pre-drop samples and everything. This thing is pretty crazy too.
Tell me where to go, what to do.
Like even if you just go through the presets,
Tell me where to go, what to do. Tell me where to go, what to do. Tell me where to.
it just changes it completely. And what I wanted to show you is the unison stacking, which is kind of the best preset for making chords.
Tell me where to go, what to. Tell me where to go, what to do.
Like it layers another layer onto this kind of, and it plays the right notes to make a chord out of this, so it always sounds perfect. And this is just like some magic stuff, to be honest. I saw this plugin and I was like, no, this can't be real. I tried it out and it works incredible.
Tell me where to go, what to do. Tell me where.
So that's kind of how I go with my vocals. I usually cut out the low end at the end, just once again.
Tell me where to go, what to do. Tell me where to go, what.
And if I want to change the volume of the vocals, I usually use a compressor, which is the gain reduction from JST.
Tell me where to go, what to do. Tell me where to go, what to do. Tell me where.
And just to demonstrate the lo-fi button,
Tell me where to go.
I really like this.
Tell me where to go, what to do.
And this thing kinda is a compressor that helps to keep the vocal on the same loudness all the time. You can do the same thing in Nectar, but the JST one kind of worked really good for me the last few years. Like I'm using this for 5 years now, I guess, for all types of vocals. Yeah, And that's kind of how I process my vocals. And just to demonstrate the magic of Nectar again, let's load something else. Let's see. Just type in vocal. What is this? No.
Open your eyes. You make me feel so good.
Oh, this sounds pretty shitty. So, let's put this into a new mixer channel. Use the Nectar baby again. Vocal assistant, assist, next. Next. Play.
You make me feel so good. 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 You make
Here we go.
me feel
This is just
so
crazy.
good.
Without
You make me feel so good.
and with.
You make me feel so good.
Like the quality increases by, I don't know, 20 times or something. And I think that's like a really good conclusion to end this live stream. Sometimes it's really cool to use shortcuts. And if you can use the shortcuts, just do it. And go from there and work from there. What do you think is the best way to make unique recess? Okay, let's do that. Fuck it. How I do my recess? There's a few ways. And actually there's a really easy way to do that in with the standard 3x OSC. You just use 2 sine waves, pitch them down. This one wants to be noise. I will go to that back later. I have the sine wave. I play it, let's say an E. That's the Reese, basically. What you want to do is you want the AM OSC3, add some white noise, change the pitch, maybe use some detune. Change it to polyphono. And technically you have a Reese right now. Of course, this sounds like garbage. I add distortion. Let's put an OTT before this, just to get out the high frequencies from the noise oscillator a bit more. Actually, this isn't playing low enough right now. That's why it sounds kind of weird. So basically this is the start of a Reese. And what I always do is I put a lot of effects on it. You can try a lot of different stuff. The thing is, how a Reese basically works is you have two of the same waveforms and they move differently, and that's how the modulation happens. Of course, you can use different waves, but you would need to like automate them on their own. That's kind of how you would use it in Serum. Like there's a few different ways to make choruses. But again, I could write a book about that. So let's see. Let's do some fun in Serum right now. Just to explain how Reeses work. Dominic, yeah, start to finish song is definitely planned, and it will be really, really interesting. So how a Reese usually works is you have two of the same waveforms and they kind of are pitched differently. So they create a movement because of the phasing. But of course, if you are like, okay, I want to do like some FM in this, FM from noise. Let's see how this sounds. Actually sounds pretty cool. And then you go to the second oscillator and are like, okay, I want like, I don't know, a Reese waveform. It sounds like this. It's really interesting. And you want to modulate that one. Making me feel some ASMR tingles. Yeah, kind of. So what you can do with this note button, which is really interesting, you can kind of change the you can change the LFO depending on what note you're playing. So you're kind of recreating the idea of offerees. And then what I would do is like put an OTT on this. Where is it again? I installed something, so my structure here is a bit weird. This is kind of noisy right now. Oh, it's because of this. Lol. This is actually pretty cool. And then what I would do is maybe record this. And of course you could tweak like the LFO and everything, the LFO rate a bit, etc, etc. And then I go into the sample. that I just recorded. I look at this. And then, of course, this won't sound like something I would do, but this is just like the basic idea on how I would start to make some sound design. Let's go to 150. And then I just cut this out because this sounds pretty cool. I stretch this. Here we go. So this sounds pretty cool already. Just put this into another mixer. Put an equalizer on this. Here's the OTT. Then I would take like another serum, for example. Let's stick with serum this time. And I'm just gonna use a preset real quick because it's faster. This is like a really simple one. It's just like 2 waveforms and just some effects on this.
Make your music stand out, get more views, and way more engagement. Bring your music to life. Get Music Visualizer. In every format, even for social media. Get started today. The link is in the description.
Just another OTT. And another equalizer. Then I maybe would add some distortion on this one. This sounds really harsh right now, but it will work. Then I would add my sub bass, which is in massive, because it's just a preset. Just adding like just a bit distortion on this. So we got this going on right now. This one is a bit loud right now. Okay, this sounds like shit. Then we can maybe copy this one, make it a bit shorter, so it's not that piercing. What you can do is you add some reverb on this, just to make it a bit more interesting. Just make sure to automate it so it's not clashing with other sounds. I think I do the same with these two, because they kind of sound shitty when they are that stretched. But maybe we can do something more interesting, like, I don't know. Let's see. What I would do now is play the same notes with my sub. Then I would, for example, what you can do is you use a granulizer or something like that. If you want to keep working like on the same with the same sounds you just make. Because you basically just made your own sample library for this song, you can just go in Edison, where you recorded the sound, put all this into the granulizer, go to transient. What I want to do is I want this to be really short, so I'm going to turn down the length. This is pretty cool. This sounds pretty cool. Let's see. So now you put this to an effect channel, of course. Don't use an OTT on these steps because it will get rid of the transients a bit. You want these to be really clicking, kind of. So this would sound like this. And then you can try to change this one up if you don't like it that much. So this is pretty cool. So let's just copy this one, and we could add some drums. So let's just take this one, sounds pretty cool. It's in the mixer track already, which is pretty good. I actually forgot to put my Maximus on the master, so I will do this right now. It won't do a lot to the sounds I made. It will just clean them up a bit or compress them a bit. So it sounds like this right now. And yeah, as said, I would do the drums right now, normalize this, cut it shorter a bit. You don't know about that name? What name do you mean, man? So I turn this bad boy up. Dominic, yeah, actually, I just had a thought. Alex, are you down if I just finish up this bar and then I will keep working on this song for the Let's Make a Song in One Session stream? If you like the idea, let me know so I know like where to stop here. Okay, perfect. Sounds good. So let's finish up these drums and then we will work on this in the next session, because this turns out way better than I expected right now. This one is pretty cool. Joey, I use the Fruity granulizer. It's in FL built in. I don't think you can use it somewhere else. So let's go with these drums. Then I will just do my quick sidechain on this. Just like this. Put it in the mixer channel, put the P controller on it. Tuck, mute this. Turn up the volume a bit. Play it with the drums. Then I got all the stuff here that I want to sidechain. This is a mixer track 9. And then we got this layer. And the one weird machine gun layer. Just this one. I think it's in the... It's... Oh no, it's not sidechained yet. So let's do this. Now it will sound like this. Here we go. it's nothing special yet. What I usually would always do to finish up the drums. So this is like the last step I will do today. Because we need to stop somewhere, unfortunately. So I add these chinas, cut them shorter, layer them on my drums. I really like to make these mono to be like really hard hitting in the middle and filling out some frequencies from the basses and from the side chaining. Cut out the low end, obviously. And actually I got some ideas already, so I could keep on working on this right now, but I really need to go to bed slowly, and I think this is a good point to stop this live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. It was pretty fucking cool today. A lot of interactions, I really like that. And I'm really looking forward to keep working on this one and make an actual song out of this. I think I will focus on the intro next time. But you will hear more informations on the DFire website really soonish, I hope. So again, thank you for tuning in and see you next time.